We talk a lot at Clearwater about our three main goals for our customers. The first is saving money, their fixed expense. The second is a better network of doctors and healthcare options. And the third is reducing the risk of what happens if something serious happens. So we have literally hundreds of stories that are so powerful where those three themes have happened. One of my favorite stories from the first goal, saving money, is a realtor in Dallas who saved $18,000 a year on their plan. Now, not everyone saves that much, but this was a huge savings for this person. Single father with kids, spending, I believe, almost $3,000 a month for the previous plan. They took that savings, invested in their business, and actually doubled their sales. So not only was the plan better, not only did they have a better network of doctors, not only did they owe less in the case of something serious, they took that savings and it dramatically impacted their revenue, their sales. And we love when that happens, when we feel like we're a part of a business solution, not just the health solution. And we have a lot of stories. The average savings is $10,000. That's across all 50 states with thousands of people. But we're very excited to hear when people actually take that savings and we get to hear those stories. And we literally have hundreds of various stories of what people have done with that savings, from paying off debt, investing in their business, putting money in a college fund. But whatever they do with the savings, we're proud to see that go to see a better plan, and they save money in the process. In terms of a better network, we have actually someone at our company who unfortunately got cancer this year and previously was on a plan with a what we call a skinny network, not a lot of options for doctors. And with our plan, it's an open network. So they can go to any surgeon, any cancer specialist that they want to, and owe the same amount of money. And they went to an initial doctor, had a very basic diagnosis, and through our service, they had a free second opinion. On that second opinion, they found it's a much more aggressive type of cancer. The first doctor really got it wrong. So they were able to go to one of the best cancer hospitals in the country because that was an option to them. And she would say that actually saved her life, and she's now cancer-free today. So not only was she spending less for a traditional plan on the exchange, because of this second opinion service, because of a better network of going to the best cancer specialist, she saved money on the monthly, she owed less on the maximum that was owed, and she got a better access to doctors. That was very, very exciting. A third testimony story that's really, really powerful was someone who was going to actually owe about $50,000. They had 3 surgeries in 1 year. And if they'd been on their previous plan, we went back and looked at the numbers, they would have actually spent over $50,000 out of pocket. Instead, this person only spent $1,000 total. So she was paying less each month. She had a wider network of doctors like everyone, but when it came to what does she owe beyond that monthly expense, she saved $50,000. It's absolutely amazing. And that's a life changer. That's money that can go to a variety of things like we discussed.
Hey, I've got a question for you. Do you have a cable bill or a phone bill or any other monthly bill for things like internet or home security? Of course you do. Well, guess what? You're probably being overcharged, and you're not alone. Millions of Americans are overpaying on their monthly bills to the tune of $60 billion a year. What if you could pay less for the exact same services? No, really, no change. And then use that extra money for things that make your life better, like a family vacation, college tuition, or simply taking some me time. Sound too good to be true? It's not. You can put your savings on autopilot. We'll analyze your bills and negotiate on your behalf, so you won't pay any more than you should for the essential services you use every day. You don't pay unless we can save you money. When we lower your bills, we'll split the savings with you, and you'll get the same or better service than you have today for less money and no hassle. We know because we've already saved our customers millions of dollars on their essential services like mobile phone, internet, cable, and more. You send us your bills, we lower them. It's that simple. Stop overpaying today. Send us your bills. That's all it takes to start living your life.
Whether we like it or not, we live in an age where much of what goes on in our daily lives is monitored, collected, and sold to interested parties. Our driving records, our medical history, our internet traffic, and most importantly, our credit information. A mistake on your credit report can cost you money. It can increase the interest you pay on your loans, prevent you from getting a mortgage or buying a car, landing a job, or getting a security clearance. It's not uncommon. A new government study to be released tomorrow indicates as many as 40 million Americans have a mistake on their credit report. 20 million have significant mistakes. And our own investigation of the credit reporting industry shows that those mistakes can be nearly impossible to get removed from your record.
The story will continue in a moment.
But now the reliability of the industry is being questioned in an 8-year Federal Trade Commission study to be released tomorrow. John Leibowitz is the chairman.
Here's what we found. Some pretty troubling information. 1 out of 5 Americans has an error on their credit report. And 1 out of 10 has an error on their credit report that might lower their credit score.
I'm trying to think of another industry where a 20% error rate would be acceptable. That's a pretty high error rate.
It's a pretty high error rate.
I think the more we look at this and the more the American people know about this, the madder they're going to get.
Ohio Attorney General Mike DeWine has opened his own investigation into the credit reporting industry, which for years has blamed mistakes on banks and merchants that provide them with bad information. But DeWine argues the fault lies with the industry for what he says are clear violations of the Fair Credit Reporting Act. Do these companies have a legal responsibility to make sure that the information is accurate?
The federal law says that if you believe that there is a mistake, you can go to them and they have an obligation to do a reasonable investigation. They're not doing a reasonable investigation. They're not doing an investigation at all. The problem is not that they make mistakes, it's they won't fix the mistakes. It literally is like this, guy behind the curtain in The Wizard of Oz. You really don't know what he's doing. It really is a secret operation that is so hard to crack.
Ask Sandra Cortez, a California accountant whose credit report confused her with an international drug trafficker. It took her 5 years to get it fixed. Or David Smith, the retired Army officer whose credit report listed a bankruptcy that wasn't his and triggered a foreclosure proceeding against his house in South Carolina. He's still dealing with the fallout. Or Judy Thomas, a trauma nurse with a horror story worthy of Hitchcock or Kafka.
There's nobody to go to. There's nobody. You just keep making phone calls and you just keep writing disputes and you keep sending them your social security number and they don't care.
Over the next few minutes, I will be giving you a detailed explanation of how this incredible program can potentially help you restore your past credit history and enhance your credit scores back to the best shape possible. Let me start by saying that the credit restoration services offered here are only available to MWR Financial members as an exclusive free benefit of their membership and are not available to the general public. Why is it a free benefit of your membership? Well, I'm glad you asked. You see, our credit restoration services were added to an existing membership without increasing the membership fee to our current or future members. In other words, MWR Financial absorbed the cost without passing it on to you. This means you are not paying any fees to MWR Financial for the credit restoration services we are about to discuss, and you are prohibited from having an MWR Financial membership for the sole purpose of using this service. The fees associated with your membership are for all of the other services included with your membership, and not credit restoration. With that said, let's talk about what our credit restoration experts can do for you. The MWR Credit Restoration Program is designed to help you correct or delete derogatory information contained on your credit reports, such items as late payments, collections, judgments, tax liens, repossessions, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcy items, and even bankruptcy filings themselves. If you have any reason to believe or are unsure about whether this type of information is being reported correctly, our experts, with your authorization, can legally dispute the validity, accuracy, and/or ownership of this information with each of the credit reporting agencies. We deal with Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. If through our disputing process the information you have authorized us to investigate on your behalf is determined to be inaccurate, misleading, outdated, obsolete, or unable to be verified within a reasonable amount of time, which is approximately 30 working days, then that information is required to be deleted or corrected according to the provisions provided under the Federal Fair Credit Reporting Act, as well as the Fair and Accurate Credit Transactions Act. Each negative item deleted or corrected can potentially improve your credit history and/or your credit scores. With that said, it's important to understand that results for each of our clients may vary, and MWR makes no specific claims as to the level of improvement you can expect. MWR also warns against the use of any credit repair or restoration company that does make these types of claims because they are not eligible to predict the actions of the creditors and credit bureaus during the disputing process, and by doing so, they have chosen to mislead the consumer. However, the good news for you is that based on the testimonies of our past and existing clients, our experts have helped tens of thousands of consumers just like you raise their credit scores an average of 50 to 150 points or more. With these types of results, you can potentially save hundreds and even thousands of dollars in interest, down payments, and insurance premiums.
And what did you see?
I saw debt from Utah Medical Center. I saw debt from a veterinarian clinic in Utah. I saw collections for a Judith Kendall.
Judith Kendall, not Judy Thomas.
Correct.
What's going through your mind?
What the hell is she doing on my credit report? What the hell is her debt doing on my credit report?
You think this would be very simple to get straightened out?
You would think. Yeah, you would think. This is my Judy Thomas versus Judith Kendall file.
Instead, it became a 6-year battle with credit agencies requiring box loads of correspondence to try and prove that she was Judy Thomas, not Judith Kendall, all to no avail.
You get a lot of time invested in this. How important are these documents?
It's my life.
There are logs of daily phone calls to dispute centers, hundreds of letters to Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, even correspondence from Judith Kendall's creditors in Utah, acknowledging that the debts on her credit report aren't hers.
I would get letters back from these companies saying this, in fact, is not you.
You still couldn't get it off your credit report?
No, I sent copies to the credit bureaus, and they would come back as mine, verified, verified. I also hired a local attorney to try and straighten it out. We had everything certified, that this is Judy Thomas, this is where I live. I've never gone by the name of Kendall. I've never even been to Utah, let alone owing a cable company in Utah.
And what happened?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing.
What kind of problems did this cause for you?
I couldn't refinance. I couldn't take advantage of the interest rates. I couldn't get a car. I couldn't co-sign for my children's student loans. And I'd worked hard for my credit. And these people were taking it away from me.
8 million people a year file disputes about their credit report, which usually requires a visit to the Experian, TransUnion, or Equifax websites. They're primarily designed to sell you premium products, not resolve a dispute, which is what I was trying to do. There's a toll-free number you can call, which is likely to connect you to someone on a faraway continent.
Thank you for calling. My name is Kevin. How may I help you?
Where are you located?
India.
India?
But regardless of where they are or who you talk to, they won't be much help.
Okay, so really, you can't do anything for me. I've just been talking to you for 15 minutes. I mean, the only thing you can do is to tell me to fill it out online.
Yes, Mr. Croft.
Okay, thank you.
Besides the toll-free number, they also give you a post office box address where you can send a letter and documents supporting your claim. In each case, it's extremely unlikely that anyone with the authority to resolve your dispute will ever actually see it. If you challenge a credit report and mail your information to a post office box in the United States, the dispute will likely be investigated in India or the Philippines or South America. We traveled 5,000 miles to the Chilean capital of Santiago, where we tracked down 3 former Experian employees.
Carolina Herrera, Rodolfo Carrasco, and Enzo Valdivia were all dispute agents at Experian's National Consumer Assistance Center, although they say they weren't able to offer consumers much assistance.
So if somebody had a problem with their credit report, they would send in a complaint and it would end up with you?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
So how many of these did you have to do a day?
90.
90.
90, yeah.
Did you consider yourself investigators?
No, not at all.
Did you have any way to investigate these claims?
No, we didn't. You can call the person.
You can't pick up the phone and call them?
No.
Do you have phones?
No.
No.
Could you email them?
No.
Did you have the authority to say, wait a minute, after looking at somebody's file and say that, this is somebody made a mistake, this person doesn't owe this money?
No, we didn't have that power.
All they did was read the disputes and reduce them to a 2-digit code like never late or not mine. It was then sent with a 2 or 3 line summary and no documentation back to the bank or department store that furnished the original information.
If there was a difference of opinion between the creditor and the person who was filing the complaint, how was it usually resolved in favor of the creditor?
Yeah. The creditor was always right. Mostly we took for granted the word of the bank. If the bank said, hey, this guy owns $100, so it is.
None of us have ever interviewed anybody in Chile from Experian, and we've got a federal court ordering them to bring these people forward, and we're still waiting.
Much of what's known about the inner workings of the consumer credit agencies come out of lawsuits filed by Len Bennett and Sylvia Goldsmith, who have subpoenaed company records and deposed employees and executives. They say under the current system, there is no way for people like Judy Thomas to get their problem solved.
So all these people who take the time to meticulously document a case that the bill isn't theirs or the bill has been paid, that is never seen by anybody?
It's not seen by anyone who considers it in determining whether or not information will be removed from a credit report.
It's not forwarded on to the person who has the complaint with you?
No, it is never forwarded on. Never forwarded on to the creditor.
We can get a jury verdict for $1 million. That's chump change to some of these bureaus. They would rather pay a verdict in $1 million than to actually go in and change the policies and procedures that they have, because that's much more expensive to them.
I can say this without qualification. The dispute procedures used by the credit reporting agencies, uniformly used, completely fail to comply with the Fair Credit Reporting Act. Courts have found that. The Federal Trade Commission has found that. It's not even a close call.
Ohio Attorney General Mike DeWine agreed.
I think the industry is a mess. And I think the impact that has on real people is just unconscionable.
You think they're breaking the law?
I think they're breaking the law. There is no doubt in my mind they are breaking the law.
We wanted to talk to Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian, but like most consumers, we were unsuccessful. The agencies referred us to the spokesman for their lobbying group in Washington. He, too, declined our request for an on-camera interview, but did provide a written statement, citing an industry-sponsored survey that showed 95% of its customers were satisfied with the dispute process. The industry maintains it's in compliance with federal law.
If you're watching this video, you probably want to get out of debt. You're not alone. The vast majority of Americans are drowning in debt, and yet they don't do anything about it because they don't know where to start. But you're doing something about it, so congratulations. It's obvious that debt is big business, and the less we know about how to manage debt, the more profits the big institutions make off of us. Although debt helps us buy things we want when we don't have the money to pay for them, it costs us our future if we don't understand the difference between good debt and bad debt. So if it seems like no matter what you do, you can't seem to make any real progress on your debt, well, it's because it's set up that way on purpose. Creditors have even changed the language they use when we buy things. No longer is it a matter of how much something costs, but what's the monthly minimum payment. By just paying the minimum payment for that car that had a sticker price of $30,000, it will cost you many thousands of dollars more when you finally pay it off. That $200,000 home can cost you over $400,000 when you finally make your last mortgage payment. Now, I used to be just like you. I had a mortgage of about $350,000 that I had refinanced twice to pay off other debts. I had about $40,000 in credit card debt and about $80,000 in student loans. I felt like I was hardly making any progress each month. The stress of this debt was literally killing me. Well, that all changed for me when I was introduced to the debt-to-wealth system that is helping me eliminate all my debt in a fraction of the time, as a matter of fact in 8 short years, without having to refinance my home or change my lifestyle one penny. I'm well on my way to living a debt-free life, and I'll show you how I'm doing it. First of all, have you noticed that banks are really good at making money? Literally, they almost print it. If you go to any major city, you'll see that typically the largest buildings have a bank's name on them. Banks build financial empires. Well, what if you could run your personal finances similar to how banks handle your money? Well, that's where our system comes in. We'll help you do just that. Let's start with a few banking principles, and then I'll show you how to apply these principles to eliminate your debt and begin building wealth for life. The first principle is called interest cancellation. To begin with, let's look at a home mortgage amortization schedule. This is one of the most egregious ways banks can earn money on us. Not only are we paying lots of interest on our mortgage, but it's weighted so that we pay most of the interest in the early years and don't make any real progress until the end. It's almost as if they know we won't be in our home for the full 30 years to ever get it paid off. Here we have a $200,000 30-year loan at 6%. The monthly principal and interest portion of the payment would be $1,199.10. In month 1, only $199.10 of the payment goes to pay off principal, and the other $1,000 is paid to the bank as profit, which they call interest. That's an 83% profit. In month 2, our principal portion goes up a whopping $1, and the bank makes an additional $999 profit off of us. After 1 year of payments, the bank has made nearly $12,000 in profit, and we've only gained $2,456 of equity. After 5 years of payments, the bank profits over $58,000 in interest, with only about $14,000 going toward equity. Roughly 80% of all the money we have paid has gone to interest. But let's stop here for a minute. That just doesn't feel right. I thought it was a 6% loan, but after 5 years, 80% of the payments have gone toward nothing but interest? No wonder we rarely ever get our homes paid off. So here's year 10. Almost $144,000 in total payments, but only $32,000 has gone toward equity. The difference is the bank's profits. It takes 20 years to get to the halfway point. We've given the bank nearly $288,000 of our hard-earned money, and they get to keep nearly $196,000 of it for their profit, leaving us the other $92,000 as equity. The fact is, most people never even get to the 20th year. They either move or refinance after 7 years and start the debt clock all over again, making the banks even more money. Strategic payoff. The vast majority of Americans carry multiple types of debt, from credit cards, student loans, furniture, cars, recreational toys, and homes, all of which have different interest rates, payment structures, lengths of time, interest crediting schedules, and a host of other factors. How does a person decide which debt to pay off first? How much money should be allocated toward that payoff, and exactly when the money should be paid? There are mathematical equations, calculations, and algorithms that will determine the precise time, sequence, amounts, and specific debt to target. However, the average person simply doesn't have the systems and methodologies in place to do these complex calculations, nor the time, so we simply make a guess and hope it's right. But is this what the banks do? Of course not.
Introducing the MWR membership, your personal team of financial experts that use proven strategies to help you increase, multiply, and protect your cash flow. With this incredible membership, you'll have everything you need to reduce or eliminate your taxes, monthly expenses, and debts, while also being able to increase your cash flow, credit scores, and investment income, all at the same time. And best of all, you don't have to become a financial expert, because our experts do all the work. This all starts with MWR's Reduce My Taxes platform that includes our instant pay raise strategy and your very own tax hotline that provides you with unlimited tax advice on demand with top-rated CPAs and enrolled agents with the IRS. These experts will immediately help you stop overpaying on your taxes and help you use the home-based business tax laws to pay even less. This one service has already helped thousands of people, just like you, get an instant pay raise of hundreds and even thousands of dollars every month, starting with their very next paycheck. Our experts do this by adjusting your W-4 for you to stop tax overpayments. They will then help you turn your personal expenses into legitimate home-based business deductions, so you can pay even less. And they will even review your last 3 years' tax returns to see if they can recover any overpayments your tax preparer may have missed or help you resolve any past tax issues. The results equals your tax dollars are shifted back to you from the government. Our next goal is to lower your monthly expenses with MWR's Lower My Bill experts. This service provides you with your own team of professional bill negotiators that will immediately go to work on your behalf to lower your regular monthly bills. Things like your cell phone, cable, satellite, security, internet, utilities bills, insurances, and a whole lot more without you having to change plans or service providers. The results equal big savings shifted back to you from big business. But it doesn't stop there. Debt is one of the biggest financial challenges for most Americans to overcome. However, this is no longer the case thanks to MWR's Eliminate My Debt program. By simply plugging into our proprietary debt elimination system, you'll be able to eliminate all your debts, including your mortgage, in record time without having to pay one dime more than you are right now. This incredible system provides you with a detailed monthly plan of action to accelerate your payoff dates and interest savings. You can also combine this service with our diversified cash flow account to actually turn your debt into wealth. The results? Debt payments shifted back to you from the banks and big business. Think about it. What would your life look like if your debt was zero and the money you spent on your debts was actually able to make you money? Sounds amazing, right? Well, it is. And while you're thinking about that, let's talk about how you got into this mess in the first place. Credit. This is the price we pay for the things we can't afford, and it's totally not your fault. Thanks to the effects of inflation, combined with overpaying on our taxes and regular monthly expenses, this causes most of us to finance a lifestyle instead of ever being able to own it. This scenario has also created the greatest retirement crisis in American history. Our CEO Brian House says it best. Credit is the gateway to debt, and debt is the pathway to poverty. As long as you're paying interest, that's money you can never save, invest, or pay yourself. And he's right. This is also why it's important to keep your credit scores as high as possible, so you can lower your interest rates, monthly payments, and insurance premiums. Our Restore My Credit experts can do this for you by helping you restore, enhance, and rebuild your credit, while also providing you with access to everything you need to order, monitor, and protect it. The credit restoration strategies and experts we provide have already helped over 100,000 satisfied customers experience an average credit score increase of 50 to 150 points or more in as little as 2 to 8 months, and you could be next. The results? Interest savings shifted back to you from the banks, so you can make yourself wealthy instead of your creditors. But that's not all. Each of these strategies are also designed to increase your cash flow and credit scores, while simultaneously lowering your debt-to-income ratios, so you can start accumulating assets and obtaining conventional financing for good debts instead of paying high interest rates and down payments. And if you're currently renting, these services combined with our Keys to Homeownership program can even help you purchase your dream home. You heard me right. Regardless of your current credit history or credit scores, our Keys to Homeownership experts can help you locate the home that's best for you, buy it for you, and let you rent to own or lease option the property until you can purchase it on your own. And if you follow their guidance, make your payments timely, and are unable to obtain conventional financing on your own within 36 months, they can even owner finance the property for you. Now that you know how we can shift your taxes, interest, expenses, and debt payments back to you, it's time to put this additional cash flow to work by turning these savings into passive streams of investment income. Our wealth experts can help you make this a reality by providing you with the best ways to save, grow, and protect your money, tax-free, with little to no risk of loss. They do this by utilizing high-yield investment strategies that have been used by the wealthy for decades, strategies that until now have been withheld from over 94% of the American population. Why? Because most of the companies that provide these strategies only focus their marketing efforts on individuals that earn $250,000 per year or more, also known as sophisticated investors. This has made the wealthy wealthier while excluding the people that need it the most. Well, not anymore. With your MWR membership, you'll now have full access to your own personal team of wealth experts that can analyze your current savings or investment portfolio and/or help you design the wealth plan that is best for you. And just like all our services, our wealth experts will do the work for you. Their first goal is to help you set up and structure your own self-banking, private reserve account, or diversified cash flow account. Imagine being able to participate in stock market gains without ever having to experience those scary losses. And how would you like to be able to borrow from yourself while the money you borrowed continues to earn interest as if it never left your account, with no taxes, fees, or early withdrawal penalties? Well, now you can. In addition to being able to become your own bank, our experts will also help you participate in one of the oldest, safest, and most profitable wealth-building strategies, land banking. This strategy gives you the ability to buy land in the path of growth at 20 to 40% below market value, that is located and purchased for you by real experts with a proven track record of success. They can even show you how you may be able to become a landowner without ever having to write a check. And last, but certainly not least, MWR's Trust My Assets experts can help you live and leave a legacy by providing you with everything you need to establish a series of private trusts specifically designed to legally, ethically, and morally eliminate taxes, while also providing your family with the maximum amount of protection for all of your assets at a fraction of the cost. In the words of John D. Rockefeller, your goal should be to own nothing but control everything, just like the wealthiest people in the world have done for decades. The results? Your money grows and works for you. You become the bank instead of ever having to depend on one again. And you get to participate in the same asset accumulation strategies used by the wealthy, while also being able to secure you and your family's legacy for generations to come. With that said, it's important to mention that everyone's financial situation is different, and results may vary. However, with your own team of financial experts, you'll have peace of mind in knowing that you can get confidential and compliant results provided by licensed and qualified experts.
And these are just the tip of the iceberg of stories we have of people who saved on their fixed expense, who get a better network of doctors, and who save on the out-of-pocket expense. And we're so proud to see this not just get better healthcare, that's great, but this is a life changer for people, whether it's quality of care or the savings and where they can invest or put that money.